Casey had 1 year under Bobby Petrino in 2008. Kind of older guys. I think, if I remember correctly, Talen's either a redshirt junior or redshirt senior. Casey was well late into his years at Arkansas at that point in 2008. So they have some similarities. Casey would tell you that Talen's a little more athletic, obviously a little taller, but both Texas guys as well. Talen, I've really enjoyed listening to him and talking with him. Not only the joking back and forth between him and Andrew Armstrong at SEC Media Days. He came on this program about a week or so after he committed, or maybe the week of his commitment, and I thought he was honest with us during that stretch. He had a tough time at Boise State. He got his job taken away from him and battled back, ended up being the MVP of the Mountain West Conference title game. Funny enough, he beat Barry Odom in that game. Garrett Odom had quarterback for Fayetteville High School. There's kind of a connection there that they talked about a little bit this weekend, but it hasn't always been the smoothest sailing for Talen Green. And it's probably not going to be 100% smooth this season. There's going to be some trials and tribulations. You think about last year, what Arkansas football went through. You're hoping that there's not a similar circumstance where you lose 5 single-digit games this fall, but you're not going to win them all. You don't have the talent to. Curious to see how he responds this upcoming season based on what he's kind of gone through early on in his quarterbacking career in college football. And then to just kind of look past that, basketball-wise, huge commit for the Arkansas Razorbacks this weekend. John Calipari, I think, now has 7 top number 1 point guards that have committed to his basketball program since joining Kentucky. Darius Akov recently commits on Friday, number 1 point guard in this cycle in 2025. The first guy to commit to your Arkansas Razorbacks this year. We had a chance to talk with the Hawk, Daryl Hawkins, this past Friday. He was awesome. You missed that conversation, hit thatline.com. It's up on our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast as well. And he just kind of spoke to the caliber of player that John Calipari is going to bring in. That player is going to put you in a position potentially to be in a national championship. Now, he was very clear. A lot of things have to fall your way. He was honest. Like, a lot of things fell our way in 1990, making it to the Final Four. And I know you love beating Texas in that Elite Eight game back in 1990. But there was plenty of things that had to go right for them. And they also made Sweet 16s, Elite Eights, just didn't make it to another Final Four, at least in that kind of tenure and era. So, but you're in position. You've got the players on this roster potentially make a run, and it looks like you've got the first one for 2025 as well.
Well, and, this is what we expect. I was joking with some folks this weekend that, hey, we're going to sign a 4-star at some point, and everybody's going to be upset.
Yeah.
What's Cal doing signing these 4-stars? That's where this program's gotten to. It's amazing.
Quick. It is amazing. We're going to get into. There was a really, really cool video posted from Emmanuel Quickley's documentary. Cal's pitch. He touches on a couple things that I thought was really, because everyone wonders, like, how does Cal do it? What is the backstory of what makes this guy successful? Now, this 2 or 3 minute snippet is just an example over the years of what makes him successful, but he really kind of goes in these clips to why he is able to accomplish what he's able to accomplish. And we see the money all the time that his players are able to make. I know, like, personal close to home would be Malik Monk, the contract that he just recently signed, countless others that have had success at Memphis, Kentucky, UMass, that have gone on to make not only money, but have successful NBA careers. And Hawkins was very clear, very emphatic that these guys won't go to Lexington in the offseason. They haven't come back to Lexington. They're coming to Fayetteville. So I know it's going to probably get some taken used to when you see Kentucky players in your practice facility, but that's good for your brand, right? Anytime that Cal is able to post, it doesn't matter if it's a Kentucky player or a former Razorback legend. Like, we had a chance, again, he posted with Daryl Hawkins. It's good for your program. It's good for brand. And Arkansas's basketball brand right now, as high as it's been in quite some time. And I don't want to. Hawkins was very clear. He didn't want to disrespect Eric Musselman. Let's be abundantly clear about something. Cal isn't your head basketball coach without what Muss is able to accomplish the previous 3 years. Now, I know last year was kind of an anomaly, but Elite Eight, Sweet 16. Cal doesn't come here if that success isn't here. And he's had some great players. You think about Anthony Black, Jordan Walsh, Nick Smith, and others that he was able to get to campus. But your recruiting has even hit another level, which I thought it was pretty awesome. And you had like the number 2 and 3 classes at one point under Muss. But you got a chance at number 1. The number 1 class in all of college basketball with your head basketball coach. Now, the biggest thing you care about is winding up in a place like San Antonio, Texas for the upcoming Final Four. Or I think in 2026, it's Las Vegas, if I remember that timeline correctly. That's what you care about. But the building blocks to getting there starts with phenomenal talent on your campus. And at least thus far, I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon based on his track record. Cal has been able to accumulate that, not even in a full calendar of offseason. Think of what he can do in a full offseason. We'll find out in 2025.
Another Hardy's qualifiers, a couple more coming up this week. Your chance to qualify. I know on Thursday we're going to be at the Phoenix Avenue location. Or hang on, Tuesday, tomorrow at Phoenix. Thursday at the Rogers Avenue location. Both events 11 to 1, so your chance to qualify. So let's reset it again. Tuesday, July 30th. Hardy's on Phoenix, 11 to 1. That's where we were Friday morning. On Thursday, the Rogers Avenue location in Fort Smith from 11 to 1 as well. If you can eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less, you'll have a reserved seat at the final table, and you'll just be the hungriest eater away from winning that football trip of a lifetime to see the Cowboys and the Eagles. It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime, brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
Got a couple responses already about the good recruiting deals. We'll talk more on that and as we get going on a Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, this is Landon Jackson, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,500 in discounts and financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit. Plus, get state sales tax paid on all remaining 2023 models in stock. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with the exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Tommy. I had a complete brain loss.
Arkansas looking at time of the game. Wilson will keep it. Nobody expected that. And we've got a brand new game.
Do you want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, Even, Ruskin, and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
Hey, welcome back into the Morning Rush. So, again, great news over the weekend getting Darius a cuff. We're going to hear more from Taylon Green and from you on the hotline, 877-377-6963. Again, only a month out from Arkansas football. July 29th. You play your first game on August the 29th. It's hard to believe, but we're almost here.
Yep. You know what else is coming up with football season? That means trips to Sassy's will be coming back soon. And at Sassy's, they can get you your tailgater packs where your Razor packs. You can get out at the tailgate, not have to worry about firing up the grill, not having to worry about cooking, or if you're having a home gate, let Alan and his crew at Sassy's put together the perfect spread for you and your friends to root on the Razorbacks this coming football season. I love Sassy's because there's TVs all around. They got multiple. What do you think they got? Probably 15 options for sides.
Oh, yeah.
To go with their tender brisket, to go with the ribs, the pulled pork. Got a great burger. The brisket tacos are top shelf. I mean, the nachos to start your meal are awesome. So good appetizer menu as well. So you're not going to go wrong with anything you get at Sassy's. 2 locations in Fayetteville, the original Red House on College. They've been doing it for like 13, 14 years in that location. They added Sassy's Barbecue and Grill just off the Weddington exit, which is every time I drive through there, once, twice, 3 times, sometimes twice a day, it's just getting better and closer to having that interchange done. Going to be easier to get to Sassy. So stop in the Weddington location. It's on Steamboat just off the Weddington exit as well. That's Sassy's Barbecue and Grill and Sassy's original Red House. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
So with all these high caliber, talented players coming to Fayetteville,
smoked wings.
Arkansas.
Joe says smoked wings. I left those out. That's exactly right.
Good job,
call.
Joe.
Honey Sriracha.
There you go. That's the ones we always get. So, again, cool to hear Daryl Hawkins this past week, who had a conversation with Cal. Sure sounds like they're going to get the band back together, the 1990 team. They're going to honor them this upcoming season in an SEC basketball game, which I know he's excited about. The Big O's excited about. That whole team is excited about. He's also excited to see what Cal can do in Fayetteville. Now, he mentioned something important. This is a guy that would know about chemistry. Here's what he said about the just getting the guys that are needed on campus to make a run.
They're bringing guys in that are going to develop a relationship. Chemistry, being friends off the court. I mean, we were like brothers. I mean, Todd, Lee, we were all like brothers. It wasn't a separation of tears. And everybody does tears. There wasn't a separation of tears. We all hung out. We all did things together. And I believe he's going to bring that piece together. Because when you're playing talented teams, you got to care for one another. You got to care for one another. You got to have a passion for one another. If you don't care for your brother on that team, and I mean really care, playing at this level, trying to do things, it's different. It's not just putting a bunch of pieces together for top players. You have to care about one another. And I believe Cal and that coaching staff is going to bring that piece together, and that's very, very important.
And that's not easy to always do. People just think that, oh, you got talent on campus in any sport, you can make it work. Tommy, there was talent on this basketball team last year. Didn't happen. Now, the previous 3 years, there was success, particularly in the NCAA tournament, which was what we care about the most. Unfortunately for Cal, he's had talented teams, and it hasn't panned out the last 5 years at Kentucky the way that he's wanted it to. So how he goes about it differently maybe this year, which he's already done already. He's only got 3 freshmen compared to I think he had 6 or 7 last year in Lexington that he brought in. So we've already seen little tinkerings here and there.
But it's not all on Cal. I mean, all right, I got you on the team. I got you on the team, and I brought Christian in. If you two don't, I can't make y'all get along. I can't make you like each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can run laps in the yard. We can do push-ups, and we can do all the. That ain't gonna make you like and want to go to war for your brother. So that's the part where the players have to figure it out for themselves, and that's what Daryl Hawkins is talking about. And everything, and you guys have seen this to a degree in your careers, but you're not old enough to have seen it over and over. And I haven't seen it enough in my career where you want to win for your teammate worse, and that happens in business. It happens in sports. Hey, I don't want to let my teammate down. More than I want to win for him or her. Mm-hmm. When you get that happening in your sales pit or your boardroom or your locker room, in this case with sports, that's where great things happen. And coaches can't always control that. You can try to recruit the right personalities and the right selflessness, but it doesn't always come together. And that's where the players have to police that and then create that culture where everybody is pulling the rope in the same direction for their teammate and their brother more than themselves or their coach.
Yeah,
that's when special things happen.
And it starts with the guy up top, who is John Calipari, who I know all of you right now are really excited to see what he can do in Fayetteville, whether it's 5 years, 6 years, 4 years, I don't know the full timeline of how long Cal expects to go in Fayetteville. But what I do know is the importance that he has already placed, I'm talking about Cal here, on Arkansas basketball. And he's talked about it. We've heard other players talked about it. And Daryl specifically spoke to that on Friday.
With Coach Cal just bringing everybody back, I think what it does is it brings everybody back in our age group, along with the new age group, to really let you know what Arkansas basketball is about. And a person like Cal, he knows everything about it. I mean, he's talked to Coach Richardson, he's talked to us, and he's generally trying to get it done for us up there.
And that was one of the things that I thought Muss did a good job with, and it sounds like Cal is carrying on the torch. Nolan and Cal have coached against one another. We know that. Cal has made a joke or two about the UMass team that beat Nolan, one of Coach Richardson's 1990s teams when they had that classic or whatever. But that is important for you. As a Arkansas basketball fan, history is a big deal. That's why it's encouraging to hear that they're putting the 95 reunion together and that there's former players that Cal has had on campus and reached out to. And sure seems like that's just another example right there from Daryl Hawkins that is an initiative that Cal is putting a lot of effort into.
It puts butts in the seats. Not that Cal's going to have that issue at Arkansas, at least in the initial season, and I don't think in seasons to come. But, hey, you need to raise money. You need to build goodwill. You need to do all of these things to make the connections that are more valuable than ever in today's college athletics. It takes a ton of money. A lot of these alumni and former athletes have money and are willing to give you some to your program. So, yeah, you always want to have that connection. And then it doesn't hurt when they have a kid or a grandkid somewhere down the line that can play, and you got good terms going on there. So, and I think Cal, from what we can see, I know how we felt about him, and he was our rival at Kentucky, but Have you seen anything to indicate he's just not a good person? I mean, he's done these satellite camps in Russellville. Have you heard one bad interaction with a fan so far?
Did the tornado shelter clean up? Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, once we get past the he used to be Kentucky coach part, I think we're finding out he's a pretty good steward of the community and the probably the community of the program as well, which includes the former players.
Yep, and again, there are things that make him successful. We're going to dive more into those. There's an awesome interaction between him and a former Kentucky Wildcat that I think you'll enjoy listening to this morning.
What are we down to? 30 days exactly today, right? Or is it 31?
Ask Derek. Derek goes back and forth. I have down 31, but
today's July 29th and it's August 29th. Yeah. So do what? 30. All right. So 31 days officially. All right, well, football season's almost here. If you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, the Apple app or Google Play Store, get it on your phone or tablet or computer right now. Futures, outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, they're all there. Plus, when you open your account right now, you get a second chance bet, meaning if your first wager doesn't work out, of at least $10 up to $250, they'll give you a bonus wager for free. Bet with a brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Calling all biscuit lovers. Hardee's limited edition blueberry biscuits are the stuff of biscuit dreams. Our famous buttermilk biscuits with summer's favorite berries baked in, served warm, and drizzled with icing. Don't miss your chance to try this special summertime treat while blueberry biscuits are still in season and ripe for the picking. Only at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Wits Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Wits Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Anyone that works with me knows if you want to drive me crazy, if you want to start a fight, and if you want to hear a string of obscenities, hide my Scotch tape, hide my highlighters. We're gonna have a problem on game day. Believe me, I've got little hiding places.
That's the equivalent of someone hiding my planner. I would lose my mind if I ever lost this thing. So, Chuck, there are certain things that we have to have with us at all times when it comes to work, and it sounds like the pens and highlighters are yours in this case, man.
Yeah, Scotch tape and highlighters.
Or Scotch tape and highlighters. Okay.
Yeah, gotta have them.
Hope I can get in that booth early. But it sounds like he's got hidey holes that I need to figure out where they're at.
Yeah, that's right.
His backup's everywhere, just in case. Yeah. Just in case.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices. I'm talking Grand Design and Forest River, and the new Brinkley Model Zs are all at Wheels RV. Lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell, so you can camp with confidence when you buy at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Chuck, we had a major adult milestone this weekend here in the Morning Rush family.
What happened?
Ty broke 90 on the golf course.
Wow, big day.
Shot an 87, man. And then I followed it up with a 102 the next day.
Well, golf's a hard game, man.
Yeah.
I mean, some days you're good and some days you're not.
There's a lot of derogatory words that I could use about golf there that I need to abstain
I'm proud
from.
of you.
Well, I was on an all-time high, had people congratulating me.
That's great, man. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, don't be embarrassed about that.
Now, Chuck, I knew he was in trouble. And I called to talk to him about his round and kind of pat him on the back. He goes, yeah, man, I can't wait to get out there tomorrow. Maybe I can break 80. And I just hung up the phone and started laughing.
Let's not get carried away.
That's not how it works.
Well,
keep that scorecard for a little
I
bit.
trust me. It's in my house, Chuck. You know that. Come on, man. It's
that was a big deal for you.
It was.
I'm happy for you.
I was happy.
I played with you twice last week. Tuesday we got the chance. Hey, Chuck, we got the chance to play with Isaiah Joe. You talk about a guy that can hit a golf ball.
That's what I've heard.
Isaiah Joe is a player, and then played with you Friday. It's the best ball striking I've seen you have since we started. But you got some new to you clubs, and I think you're set to go to that next plateau now.
Hopefully.
Where you always break 100, and then the next thing is you always break 90.
Yeah.
I
just I got to stay out of the hunt.
Baby steps.
But that's not going to happen like over the course of a month or 6 weeks. You're not going to go from being a guy that seldom breaks 100 to a guy that breaks 90 every time.
No,
that's not going to happen in one.
No, that's for the athletes in the world. But over the course of the next year, that could be the case.
Yes. I think now the question remains before we move on. Clay said last week I wasn't good enough to play with him. Am I now good enough, Chuck, do you think?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that
Still
far.
pushing it? Okay.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk some more
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't have the button near me, but yeah,
I got a lot of. I got a lot of work to do. I was very, very calm after
but
that.
you know you can do it.
I
now.
do.
That's the thing you should take away.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit you have.
If I've got more confidence in you, then you need to have more confidence in you.
Yeah, but what's the phrase? Haughty spirit before the fall, or whatever. You got to be very, very mellow, very low key about it.
I'm gonna get in your head, Ty. You're not gonna break 90 again this summer.
This summer, man.
He can do it.
Got a month. I got a month left. I got 31 days till football, and then things kind of go from there. And speaking of football, again, Chuck, we're 31 days out. August the 29th. We get to hear from Sam Pittman tomorrow and Ben Souders, strength and conditioning coach, players, coaches, and other throughout the week. We got a chance to hear a little bit from Taylor Green this weekend. Pig Trail Nation put out this audio of the Arkansas quarterback talking at Fayetteville High School. Interesting connection with him and Casey Dick. Casey, of course, a Texas kid, played 1 year under Bobby Petrino in 2008. Taylor going in his first year, and he kind of reflected on the connection a little bit.
He was telling me about his book on LSU and how, thick it was, and that's Coach Petrino for, just the detail with the game plan. That's what, I love about, Petrino. Of course, everybody knows he is a quarterback guru, but, that's when the game slows down is when you know what's going on, the ins and outs of, what the defense is doing.
So I thought it was cool for Taylor to go into a couple things at SEC Media Days, not only the connection and the love he has for Texas high school football, but he shared a story about the first time Bobby Petrino really railed on him or anything. But the thing that he keeps coming back to is like Petrino doesn't just yell and scream for no reason. This is a guy that's trying to be constructive, trying to get him to be the best. And you never have to worry about as a quarterback at Arkansas the lack of game planning. I mean, you just heard him talking about the LSU game plan, Chuck. I mean, Taylor doesn't have to ever go into a game thinking, well, my OC doesn't know what they're doing, because he does, and he has a game plan for that.
Well, yes. I mean, there's always going to be a game plan. And I think most of the time, I won't say most of the time, some of the time, I think people believe that coaching is yelling and screaming and challenging and making guys go without water. Toughening them up. That's not what it's about. It's about teaching the game. It's about teaching how to play the game. And all these guys, when you get right down to it, that's what they are. And Petrino is too. And yes, they'll be prepared. I have no doubt they'll be prepared when they go into a game.
Yeah.
Taylor Green will be prepared, and everybody else will be too.
The thing I heard from Taylor there is as he's teaching the game, it's about reacting rather than thinking. He talks about it slowing down. That's what we always hear players talk about is, instead of having to think your way through the progressions of a play, you just do it.
React to it.
And you react to it. And that's when you go to the next level, because thinking takes time.
Well,
and you don't have time.
Yeah. I reacted one way on Saturday after my golf game and then a complete another on Sunday. So I guess it's just sometimes according to plan. Chuck, as we kind of look at the backstory of Taylor Green a little bit, you think about the success he kind of initially had. I think it was Mountain West Freshman of the Year, and then lost his starting job. His coach gets fired. I mean, this is a guy that hasn't always had the peachiest time in college football. There's been adversity before. He's going to face some this year. Arkansas doesn't have these incredible skill position players around him everywhere. He doesn't have a Joe Moore Award offensive line. This is a guy that's had, again, trials already in college. So while they may be bigger here in Fayetteville, I'm curious to see his past and how that could maybe help him with some of the stuff he'll go through this year.
Well, he's played, and that's a big thing. So it's not as though he's not ever been out there in a big situation before. There are going to be lots of differences. Mm-hmm. The biggest is going to be the speed of the 11 guys on the other side. That's what's going to be the biggest difference from where he's been. And if he does well, he'll make the adjustment. It's going to be an adjustment either way. But yes, he's played. He's had some degree of success. He's a talented guy, and so let's see what he can do.
JR is called in this morning here on a Hot Take Monday. What's up, JR?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, brother.
Hey, share a little information, if you have any, on Braylon Russell, if you don't care, the running back, Arkansas kid.
Okay.
I've been reading a little bit about him. Sounds like he's an Arkansas kid that's wanting to play for the state. Thank you.
Petrino really likes him, Chuck. I know you've
He's going to play
shared that.
some.
Yeah.
He's third or fourth, depending on whose depth chart you look at right now. But I think this is a young running back. He's out of Benton. That's going to get some playing time this year.
He's going to play, and the thing that I wondered about in the spring, and I asked about this, was is this going to be a goal line guy, or is this a guy you can run between the 20s? And they feel like they can play him anywhere in any situation on the field, that he's not just going to be a goal line guy. He's a big guy. He's fast. I know that you talked about Petrino liking him. I know his head coach likes him. And I think they're looking forward to, seeing him out there. How much he's going to play, we're just going to have to see on that. Now, my guess would be, very honestly, Ty, that when they play UAPB down there in Little Rock, he's probably going to tote the rock a little bit that day. Is he going to do it as much in Stillwater the next week? I don't know. But, yeah, he's going to factor in and he's going to play. Let's not forget, too. And I just got to say this because we're always talking about recruiting on here. He was a commit and then a decommit and then a recommit.
Good point.
I mean, this stuff happens all the time. Let's not act like the sky's falling when a kid says he's not coming, or let's not, give a group high five when a kid says he might come to Arkansas, because it ain't done until it's done.
Yeah, and with Petrino's offense, and we'll see how much it's different really when we get into the meat of it, but as a running back, you better be able to chip that blitz that's coming, or that edge that's on its way. So it's not just how much you can tote the rock, or at least that's the Petrino we've known. You better be able to watch the backside of your quarterback as well.
I think it's that way in any offense. Yeah. I mean, if you can't block, if you don't know your assignment when the ball's not going to be in your hands, that's gonna limit your playing time as much as if you screw up when you got it. So, yeah, all that stuff factors into it.
Yeah. 6:40 here on the Morning Rush. Glad you're with us. The phone line is open if you want to call in, just like JR did, 877-377-6963. You can also text your thoughts in here as well. We got several of those that have come in from Joe and Mason and Ben and Michael. We'll get to their thoughts coming up as well.
And so, Taylor, one of the other things he talked about was fall camp. Not only are we going to hear from Sam Pittman and strength and conditioning coordinator Ben Souders tomorrow, but fall camp will begin on Wednesday. And he's not going to get hit or anything like that. We know that with just being how quarterbacks are in today's age of college football, but just getting the offense and defense going back and forth again.
I'm looking forward to, just getting the ball rolling. I've been excited since January, and, everybody's talking trash, the offense and defense having their little feud, so, we're going to settle it on Wednesday.
So there are position groups that I think are pretty settled at this point in time. We know the starting quarterback. We pretty much know the offensive line, I think. Running back, I think it's going to end up being Jaquindon Jackson over Rashad DeBinion. Your tight ends, Luke has. Maybe it's more of a battle between Washington and Gums for the backup spot. Linebacker, I think it's going to end up being Brad Spence and the kid from Georgia whose name Xavier Sorey at a sec. But Chuck, this is a lot of times I feel like heading into fall camp, you have maybe most of your starting positions locked up, but this is really the next few weeks for who's going to get the backup role a lot of times coming out of spring and then heading into fall camp.
Well, that's part of it. That's for sure. I mean, you build your depth in fall camp, and you find out who's going to play. You do find out who some of the starters are, and it's not as though sometimes people look at camp. I think, well, we're going to decide who the starters are going to be. That's not the purpose of camp.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of camp is to get better as a football team, from the first guy to the fifth guy. The idea that the entire purpose is just to determine who the starters are going to be. Well, you can determine that and go 0-12, So it's not just determining who the backups are. It's getting the frontline guys ready. It's getting everybody better. It's building a team. All those things, and many, many things beyond that are products of preseason camp.
Man, when I grew up, it was about getting in shape. I mean, they'd come back and they'd be somewhat in shape, but I mean, that's what camp was for, was to really start getting you physically ready. Now they just stay ready year round. And so, but it's about contact. I think, Chuck, you got to train to contact too. And that's always the battle. How much do you hit and how much do you let up? And, they call it practicing smart. So, but you've got to have some contact in camp because there's just muscles you use. You can't train otherwise until you're hitting somebody.
Clay talked about this. Chucky, you can correct me if I'm wrong. They've had pretty physical practices last 2 years that maybe wasn't. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. They weren't maybe heading into a season, but I know that was something that Sam Pittman kind of took away from Kirby Smart, who spoke to that at media days, and he of course took it away from Nick Saban. But I would guess outside of the quarterback, there's going to be a lot of normal contact these upcoming weeks.
That's football. In football, there's going to be contact.
Well, yeah, I don't think every year we go into this acting like it's going to be the first camp of in the history of football. This is going to be like every other camp. There's going to be some hitting. There's going to be some periods where there's conditioning, and there's going to be some periods where they're working on all kinds of things. But I don't think this is going to be any kind of novel camp. Bill. You've got to hit to play football. But by the same token, you've got to make sure everybody's ready to play in the game. So that's the balance that's always been there. I don't think they're going to reinvent the way you do preseason camp this year.
Nope, not expecting that at all. Well, I know that some guys going to be wanting to move on up the depth chart. Chuck, some people want to just move on up in the neighborhood. And our friends at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, can help you find that perfect home just like they did for Ty.
Well, they can, and they've been doing it a long time, and that's the thing that I like best about them is they're experienced, and these are people that are involved in the community, people you see every day, every week. You see them at ball games, school events, church, things like that. They've been here a while. They're the best trained in the business. That's another thing that's important too. And what I found in my experience with them as a first-time buyer and then on through adulthood was that they always understood right where I was, and they always met me right there. And, they listened to what my needs were, what my desires were, and they made them happen. They made them come true. And that's easier said than done, but that's what they do at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. And they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office there. They're in Branson, Missouri now, and you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
I thought this was an interesting. I mentioned Kirby Smart there. There have been some parallels made for what's going on in Athens, Georgia, to now to what was going on in Gainesville, Florida, under Urban Meyer. And I want to see. I was curious to y'all's opinion if there's any truth to maybe the incidents and the suspensions and the different themes that have occurred off the field under both coaches. So doing some research on, again, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators. Ra Thomas was recently arrested, one of the star wide receivers for the Georgia Bulldogs. And they have had a lot of incidents in Athens, Georgia. 24 driving-related violations, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Now, Florida, from 2005 to 2010, had 31 players arrested in the Urban Meyer era. 41 of the players from the 2008 National Championship team were arrested either during their time at Florida or off the field as well. We know the Florida tenure under Urban Meyer was great for a time, but then ended. 2006 National Champions, 07 Heisman Trophy winner, 8 National Champions, 9 they made it to the SEC Championship, and then after 10, again, it ended there. I think there are some similarities to what happened in Gainesville. Now, just hear me out on this. There are constant things that are occurring at both places, and I think one of the reasons that the Florida thing ended was because, again, Saban came back in the league in 2007 and became the alpha dog. Meyer was the alpha dog for that 2 or 3 year stint, and then Saban said, nope, this is me. Saban's gone. So that's not going to mean it's going to completely spin out of control like it may have done in Gainesville. But, guys, I do think Kirby Smart has a problem in Athens, Georgia right now. And it's pretty rampant. I mean, it seems like every single news cycle when it comes to SEC, every month or so, we see incidents with Georgia Bulldog players.
What kind of incidents?
Consistently, I mean, traffic-related stuff. There's arrest. I mean, it's pretty prevalent as it was during the Florida time.
Heavily traffic incidents, right? Speeding and traffic violations.
There's, again, the rah-rah thing was...
What was going on in Florida, though?
All sorts of things.
And several more severe.
Yes.
I don't want to compare DUIs or off-the-field incidents involving other to speeding. I mean, I'm not condoning speeding, but that's apples and bumper cars to me.
Part of the reason there are more speeding tickets now is all these kids have good cars.
Yeah.
You know, powerful engines, driving fast, just like any of us would have done if we'd had great cars with powerful engines in college.
Yeah.
You know, I'd have done the same thing. I'm not saying it's okay, but you're right. There's a big difference between a speeding ticket. What happens is speeding tickets over a certain threshold become much more serious than just your average, you know, I was going 47 and a 30. Once you get over 90 and 100 miles an hour, it's a whole different level in terms of not just fines, but how you're charged and all that stuff. So I have to be honest with you. I've not spent 2 seconds thinking about the comparisons between Florida and Georgia off the field. I'm sure the writer of this story that you're citing was able to tie the two together. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a story. So, but I don't think Georgia has a problem. I'm going to put it that way. I don't think Georgia has a problem. I'm not saying it's good that a bunch of guys get speeding tickets, and they obviously had the incident where someone died and there was alcohol involved. There were administrative breakdowns, and people were held accountable for that. That's a different deal right there. But, no, I don't think what's going on off the field – I don't know exactly what you mean by problem. If you're saying it's going to affect what happens on the field, I don't see that.
Well, my thought was, while you don't have to necessarily go up against the opposition of the greatest coach of all time, players are. Can we all agree on that? Players are harder to control than they have ever been before because of NIL, because of the transfer
control
portal,
off the field,
control and stuff like that. So initially, and I think I've been open on these airwaves, that I thought Georgia is just going to take the SEC, and then I read certain things and I think more about it. I'm thinking to myself, well, it's really harder for now Smart, even though I don't think moving from 4 to 12 is going to affect college football that much in terms of who can be at the top each and every year. I just think it's harder for Kirby Smart to control his program now. And to me, like the Ra Thomas thing wasn't driving related. It was battery and like an abuse of a child, I think. So
is it easier elsewhere and only harder at Georgia?
No, but
I mean, I don't.
The point I'm making is it's harder to have a dynasty nowadays than it maybe was during the Nick Saban era. Not because
I'm not sure it's ever been easy, though, Ty.
But I'm saying
you don't think there was stuff going on off the field at Alabama?
No, I absolutely do. Trust me, that it was just hushed under the rug.
Down there?
Yeah, what happened is the sheriff at Tuscaloosa would call Nick Saban. It's like, Coach, do you want us to put your guy in jail, or do you want him to take us to the facility?
Maybe it wasn't quite like that, but the point is that. You know, everybody, when a team's good, everybody looks for all kinds of reasons why they won't be good next year, why something might be different. And lots of times, or at least sometimes, we point to off-the-field things, as this may be a reason why they're not as good this year. I'm not sure the point you're driving at here, but I don't think Georgia's going to suffer this year because of the off-the-field stuff.
Where I'm coming from is I think I've thought differently about how strong and bullheaded I was on the idea that Georgia's just going to dominate the next 5 or 10 years. I've walked that back a little bit based on the similarities that I see between the Gators, what they were going through at the time of the national championship, which, by the way, didn't necessarily prevent them from winning, but it did come to an end under Meyer, and then where it currently is under Smart.
If your idea of, be the dominant program for the next 5 to 10 years is win 5 or 6 national championships, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I think Georgia's a pretty dominant program right now. I don't see any signs of that going away. First off, I don't think about Georgia that much. We don't play them, and I don't care. But I don't think Georgia's going away. If you're looking for a reason to say Georgia's not going to be as good this year, it's not going to be because of all this stuff.
Yeah, a win this year, we give them, 3 of the last 4? Trying to run
correct,
through,
yeah.
So to me, that's the definition of dynasty. I mean, if you want to split a hair, maybe it's not because it's not 3 in a row, but they'd have 3 of the last 4. Yeah, I'm with Chuck. I just don't think speeding tickets are going to keep them. I understand this last thing you're talking about is far more severe in a domestic issue, but and battery charge. But are they distractions? Are they things that Kirby Smart and his staff have to deal with? Yes, but I think the thing that came out at Media Days that's interesting is, hey, we'll just let the collective take some of their money away.
Mm-hmm.
You want to rein it in? Because let's be honest. I was broke in college. Chuck, were you flush with cash in college? Because I wasn't. Were you?
No.
But how invincible would you feel if you had a fast car and you had a fat bank account and you could go out and do what you would feel invincible.
Mm-hmm.
And this is part of the growing pains of what we've fostered, what we've allowed, the direction we've headed, however you want to phrase it, with college sports. This is some of the byproduct and the growing pains that come along with that. Kirby Smart's trying to figure out how to administrate it and deal with it, with also not getting his head lopped off in the transfer portal. And some of that's just going to be taking some money away.
It is a tough balance to have to do that nowadays in a college football coach. Curious to see, again, what happens in Athens in the remaining years. No Nick Saban. They've got a lot of...
Speeding tickets aren't going to end the dynasty, though. I don't believe that. Brought to you by Westark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. Water, sewer, gas, and grease lines. They've been fixing all of them since 1993. And if you're starting your weekday coming off the weekend with a plumbing issue, Westark Plumbing is the one to call. 479-646-5151. Leaky faucet, maybe like I said, a hot water tank that isn't acting right this morning, or you got a backed up sewer line, they can fix it. Maybe it's at your restaurant or your business and you got a gas or grease line that's not doing what it's supposed to do. I know those grease lines in restaurants can be tricky. 479-646-5151 for Westark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
Arkansas got a big commit over the weekend for the basketball program. Richard Davenport breaks it down when we return.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley model.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
And Spirits, KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 31 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
I'm looking forward to just getting the ball rolling. I've been excited since January. Everybody's talking trash. Offense and defense having their little feud, so we're going to settle it on Wednesday.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
You're Taylor Green there talking about fall camp, which begins this Wednesday. Going to get a chance to hear from Coach Pittman on Tuesday and your head basketball coach later on today at 11. We'll have that up for you on hitthatline.com and our YouTube channel as well. Cal got some good news on Friday. Darius Sakuff, 5-star, number 1 point guard in the country in the class of 2025 commits. Richard has the latest on that. Mr. Davenport will join us a couple days early to recap this weekend coming up.
And some big football news, it sounds like, as well. Wheels RV brings you Hot Take Monday. exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Go 5 miles out towards Town. The big water tower's out there. You'll see it right there underneath the water tower in Town. Top brands like Grand Design, Forest River, now Brinkley Model Zs, which they'll be bringing to Fort Smith in early 25. It has the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
All right, Richard, number one point guard in the country commits to your Arkansas Razorbacks. Cal, I think it's 7 now, number one guys that he's been able to get committed and ultimately sign with his program. What can you tell us about Arkansas's latest commit in the first one to 25?
Well, obviously one of the top guys in the country. There's no doubt about it. And it's kind of his Coach Cal's ammo of getting 5 stars to commit and sign with him. And obviously there's a reason for that. He's got a history of doing that, along with sending those guys to the league, and that's basically the number one reason why guys usually go play for him. Plus he's a guy that is very relatable to the kids and the parents, and also cares for them. So I think all that kind of plays into the role of a lot of the top players in the country deciding to be not necessarily Razorbacks, but I guess it's starting to be Razorbacks, but in the past obviously Wildcats.
I think Malik Thomas is trying to reschedule his visit, another top player. You got Dubenshaw, or however you say his name. Then you got Muldrew and also Isaiah Sealy. Richard, who are some other names maybe that Arkansas basketball fans should keep an eye on for maybe winding up as Arkansas commits?
Well, Jasper Johnson recently named Arkansas in the top 5. You also have Isaiah Sealy from Springdale, who will probably be making an official visit to Arkansas. Off the top of my head, I'm not looking at the list, but there's more. But keep an eye out on the Boozer twins. But twins. I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah, of course, Duke's probably going to be in the top of that list, Tommy, with Carlos being a former Blue Devil.
So while Acuff's commitment is big news, I thought the news out of football might be, I don't know if it's equally as good, but when you get a 4-star defensive lineman at Arkansas, I know that may be just everyday happenstance at some other schools in the SEC, but Arkansas got a 4-star D lineman, Reginald Vaughn. Tell us more about this latest commit that seemed to be the highlight of a big weekend for football.
Yeah, you're right, Tommy. And the thing that really I think makes it even more special is that he had offers from Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Arkansas doesn't go into Mississippi very, very often at all and get a guy that, especially a high-caliber 4-star prospect, that Ole Miss and Mississippi State wanted. So that was, I think that probably impressed me more than anything. He's a guy that visited, he and his mom visited back in March, and I think that really kind of got the wheels in motion for him to be a Razorback. I think that they instantly stood out after that March visit. They visited Fayetteville for 2 days, and he and his mom just fell in love with Arkansas. Then he made an official visit in June, and so that is a big pickup, like you said. Not only did he had Ole Miss, Mississippi State, he accumulated offers from LSU, Georgia, Penn State, Texas, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, and others. So this is not a just hey, it's a good pickup. It's a great pickup just from that standpoint. And great kid. You probably noticed that I don't go to too many out-of-state commitments, but this young man and his mom are just outstanding people, and they lost their dad and husband back in October to a heart attack, and just the strength that they've shown through this, and I'm sure they still have their moments in the grieving process, but I just can't imagine being a young man at his age and losing a parent. And so I just I wanted to be down there, and I'm glad I did. I mean, I knew that he was an outstanding young man, but just a quick story. His coach talked about Reginald, and he went to Reginald one day and wanted to speak to some middle school students. And he said, "Coach, yeah, I'd love to, but I really don't want to talk about football. That's part of me, but that's not all of me." And he talked about life and other things that obviously is, pretty much more important than football. So I was thinking, man, here's a 16, 17-year-old kid thinking that way. I wasn't thinking anything like that at that age.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes loss to gain perspective. And it sounds like that was the story you're trying to tell there.
Yeah. Well, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if that was after he lost his father or not. His coach didn't specify, but he is an extremely mature young man and a guy that is very very strong in his faith, and I think that obviously helped him and his mom when they lost his dad.
Richard Davenport is our guest this morning, a couple days early with the recruiting news. Richard, you also had Hog Wild Hangout this weekend, which a couple of these commits kind of came after that. What can you tell us about maybe some of the details that went on with Arkansas's football coaches and program and some of the other guys that also committed?
I accumulated a list of more than 50 guys, and I counted, and I might have missed one or two, I don't know. But they had at least 15 four-stars on campus on Saturday out of the 15. It was an impressive list of kids, and one of the quarterbacks was a 26 quarterback, Javon Gilmore from South Carolina, 6'6", about 190. He's narrowed his list down to Arkansas, Virginia Tech, Louisville, Texas A&M, and North Carolina State. That was his first offer, and first visit to Arkansas, and it went very well. And I don't know if he's going to be a Razorback or not, but he's going to be making a decision on Wednesday, so that's something to keep an eye on. T.J. Hodges, a four-star running back from Mark Tree, also visited and had a really good visit. He and Kobe Smith, the running backs coach, are very tight. But then you had some good-looking defensive linemen on campus too. You had Anthony Kennedy from Maumelle, 6'6", 280 pounds, 26 class, who's a four-star. Jordan Harris, also from Maumelle, probably one of the better athletes in the state. Abdul plays basketball and football. But it looks like now, it originally looked like he was going to play basketball, but I think now he's going to play football. 6'6", 220 pounds, guy that had some offers in basketball, but Arkansas, Missouri, SMU, and others have offered him in football. But a very productive day for recruiting on Saturday for Arkansas, obviously, with the commitment and all those kids visiting.
So you had some good basketball news, good football news, and that's why we wanted to have you on a few days earlier. Richard, we appreciate you jumping on with us, and we will talk next week.
Sounds good. See you, man.
All right, Richard Davenport with us here on the Morning Rush. I know that a lot of places I went this weekend, and when I was interacting with fans and folks that check the show out on a regular basis, A-Cuff's commitment was was something that got brought up a lot over the weekend. So sounded like football had a great weekend, and obviously we've got to acclimate ourselves, Chuck, to having these five-star recruits. Kind of the joke between me and folks this week is, yeah, Cal's going to screw around and sign a four-star. We're all going to wonder what's going on now.
He's got it going on, that's for sure, and he's just moved his operation to Arkansas, and we're going to be in on all those guys now, evidently.
Yeah. Hey, when it's time to spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one, you can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the financing option that's best for you and your family and your project. Visit myaglender.com or drop by any of Farm Credit of Western Arkansas's 25 locations and get started on building more family memories. That's Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. Ty, it's myaglender.com.
All right, so we'll jump into our Morning Rush Daily Question, and we mentioned Cal there. How does he do it? We'll give you kind of an inside backstory on that coming up in the next hour or so on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
We got to show them we are the University of Arkansas.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Calling all biscuit lovers. Hardee's limited edition blueberry biscuits are the stuff of biscuit dreams. Our famous buttermilk biscuits with summer's favorite berries baked in, served warm, and drizzled with icing. Don't miss your chance to try this special summertime treat while blueberry biscuits are still in season and ripe for the picking. Only at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Morning Rush Daily Question.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, Morning Rush Daily Question. The opening ceremonies of the Olympics were held on Friday night. Here's the question, and be honest. Did you watch the Olympics any this weekend? How much time did you spend watching the Olympic Games Friday night to last night?
I haven't watched a second, Chuck. The only thing I've seen on social media is that fat water buffalo that they showed at one point during the opening ceremony. But no, in terms of the competition, I have not.
I've watched a little of it here and there. Caught some of the basketball game. But it's not really into the good stuff yet. I like to watch track and field events and the things like that particularly. So at some point over the next 2 weeks, my interest will be piqued, but not really this week.
I'm with you guys. I didn't spend, if I watched, it was because I was at the golf course and it was on the TV or I was somewhere else. I didn't sit down with purpose to watch. But I think as we get into primetime weeknight viewing, I think we're going to get, maybe into it because we're going to look up and see when the stuff we're most interested in is. There's some of the very obscure going on right now.
Here's the Olympic stuff I jotted down. Apparently, Simone Biles was fantastic last night. Arkansas beat Serbia pretty good. Whenever Jokic was off the court, they just waxed him. They had
the United States.
Yeah. What did I say?
Arkansas.
Okay. So used to saying that.
That's all right.
Yeah, the thing with the comparison of LeBron James holding up the American flag, and they compared it to George Washington crossing the Delaware River.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't turned on my television to watch.
I did watch some of the opening ceremony. How did y'all think that went with the teams, with the Olympic teams from each country coming down in? Well, they were different sized boats and vessels. Some were more equate to a yacht than a boat, but it was certainly different.
I've got to be honest. I didn't see a minute of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not the best one to comment on the opening ceremony.
Because they
Plenty
usually
of people have, but
I don't know.
I didn't see it.
No, see, I think we're all because in the limited number I've interacted with, I don't. That's not the conversation du jour.
Well, I think you made a point a minute ago that'll be true. People will watch it more this week.
Yeah.
People are home, generally speaking. On weeknights, whereas Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into summer, people are out and about.
Well,
numbers are down a little bit. But I would imagine as we move through this week and into primetime next week, the numbers will be very good.
I've been amazed in just watching some of the news stories from the Olympics, the amount of sabotage, and I don't know if you want to call it terrorism, but they have tried to shut down the internet there. They've tried to get into power grids. They've tried all these things that the Olympics are
pouring the crap in the Thin River.
Yeah, they're just having to fight all these little outside agents or whatever you want to call it that are just trying to ruin the Olympics.
I'll tell you,
I don't understand all that either.
Here's my hot take. Apparently, the E. coli or whatever, the bacteria, because of the rain lately, has made that water questionable. If I'm a swimmer, and I know I've worked for however many years to get ready for this, I'm not swimming in that. I'm sorry. That's my hot take this morning.
You're going to walk away and say no.
I'm not going to do it. Like the idea that I could get E. coli by just swimming, I'm out. That's my hot take this morning.
That might be exaggerated a little bit.
It seemed maybe it's the news cycle that every story I read about the Sin River, it's like, don't know if everything's out of it or not. I'm out.
Hey, here's the thing about the Olympics, and we're seeing it again, and we see it every time in my lifetime. There's this mix of sport and politics and all kinds of stuff, cultural differences, all this stuff comes together. And it sometimes forms a perfect storm. Sometimes it meshes very well. We've had Olympic Games that were, by and large, went off without a hitch, went off without any controversy, went off without anything. And we've had other Olympics that have made history for the things that happened away from the field of competition. So there's always going to be that mix, and there is this year, and that's one of the things that makes the Olympics the Olympics.
And L.A. gets it in 4 more years, right? In 2028. So
U.S.
we'll see how we can do with it.
U.S. right now has 12 medals overall, which leads, but they're behind in gold medals. They got 3, and I think it's South Korea, Japan, and Australia have 4. So
now, Ty, if we don't win the most gold medals, are you going to call for the IOC had to be fired for whoever our Olympic chairman is? Are you going to call for his ouster?
Absolutely. It's going to fall on Hot Take Monday. We're the United States. We shouldn't lose.
All right.
Period.
Who is the medal coordinator? We need.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but they probably need to be
if they
fired.
don't win, he's toast.
Don in Fort Smith said apparently the Olympics have gotten 30 million viewers from NBC each night. I'd say the highest SEC football. I think Alabama, Auburn's usually around 15
those are NFL
million.
numbers right there. Regular season numbers.
That's massive. So thanks for the update.
That's why they pay a massive amount of money for it. But they'd have 30 million in 3 if they get us in the circle. Maybe we'll be there by tonight or so.
We may not be their target demo.
They may not be. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Questions brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands at great prices and a lifetime warranty that Lee J and Chris and the crew give you with every new RV you purchase. That's part of the award-winning service you're going to get. That's one reason they've been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
Emmanuel Quickly came into Bud Walton Arena years ago, the same game that Cal got tossed. If you remember, he was the kid that put both fingers in his eardrums because of how loud the arena got that day. Emmanuel now plays for the Toronto Raptors. He's a really solid NBA player, averaging like 17 or 18 points. Well, back during his recruiting process, they were kind of doing a documentary on what he was going through. Part of that process included your head basketball coach, John Calipari. And I always wondered, like, you hear things, you see things on social media. How does Cal sell these guys to get to school? Well, the first thing in this clip that I saw on social media this weekend, Cal talks about the education aspect, not just when you're there, maybe a year or two, but after the fact.
Lifetime scholarship. Our kids go to class. Lifetime scholarship means you finish the term before you leave, so you're academically in good standing, and then you come back whenever you want. The kids that I'm recruiting, most of them have a 4 to 5 year window. Your academic window's 50 years.
And I think that sometimes get lost a lot of times. And Tommy, you've had a friend or two, former Razorback, that has, again, gone on professionally somewhere, then come back and finish their degree. We've talked to other ones about that, but apparently not just for Emmanuel, Chuck, but for others, that's been a big pitch, and that's been a big push for Cal, is getting guys to come back to campus and finish their degree. And a lot of it have done that post-playing day career.
Yeah, it's great that they do. And I don't know, I have to be honest, I don't know all the ins and outs of how it operated at Kentucky, but that's what many of these players do. And he's right, they've got a 4 or 5 year window when it comes to being a pro, sometimes longer. But, you've got a 4 or 5 year window to, basically get to that second contract, which is where you're essentially set up for life, unless you just really screw it up. And he's right. I mean, you can always go back to school, and lots of guys do that in all sports at every school.
It was 4 or 5 guys recently that played for Cal at Kentucky that amounted to a $1.2 billion amount of dollars in their second contract. Malik Monk being one of those, and I think it was De'Aaron Fox as well, also in that list. That's what he occasionally will put out on social media. He has that in his back pocket that he can publicize or just speak to in a family's home, like he was doing with the Quickly family that day. Now, Chuck, you spoke to the basketball window, that 4 or 5 year stint. He kind of expanded on that in this conversation with the Quickleys as well.
Your basketball window's 4 to 5 years. And you may say, well, what's 4 to 5 years mean? Doesn't mean you have to leave after a year. You may. maybe what you do. I've had guys leave after a year, 2 or 3. But within that window, you got to do your college thing, get drafted, and establish who you are, because this first contract, it's the second one. And that's why my guys are going to that league and get the second contract. And it's all the stuff that guys can't argue.
And you hear the tail end as it got cut off there. Chuck, it's like it's inarguable. Like there's so much ample evidence that Cal has his disposal, not just recently, but really since he's not just Kentucky, but Memphis, UMass, other guys, that he can pull out a Rolodex and basically just show this guy made this money, this guy made that money. That is really, really tough to go up against if you're just a solid college basketball coach, when he's got all these different examples that he can point to in the last 2+ decades coaching here, or coaching in college, I should say.
Well, it's been his MO all the way back to the days at UMass. And, that's why he's a Hall of Fame coach, is because he's figured out his way to do it and what works for him. And he's done it year after year after year. And there's a model of consistency there. And, the thing that struck me, and I'll just be very honest, and it kind of points to sometimes why with these 5-star players, their best basketball comes 5-6 years down the road when they're not here anymore. I thought that Acuff kid looked like he was about 14 years old. I mean, that picture of him, he looks like a child. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's because I'm old. It's not because he's young. But, it's striking. And some of these players that played for him at Kentucky that have gone on to great careers and second contracts, as he puts it in the NBA. Not all those guys were, stars in college. I mean, they were stars, but they weren't like first-team All-Americans.
Yeah.
They weren't their first year what they would have been their third year had it been the old days when guys stayed at colleges 3-4 years. Now that third or fourth year is their second or third year in the NBA. And so I understand why they do it. I don't blame them at all for doing it. But it just kind of drove the point home to me again that college basketball, college baseball, college football, college sports, period. These kids that are going to be pros, that are going to make livings, in sports, we're seeing them at the beginning of that blossoming period.
Mm-hmm.
We're not seeing the finished product. And sometimes we'll see, and it happens in all sports, at all schools, you'll see a guy 7-8 years down the road, and he's a great pro. How could we not have been any better with that guy on our football team or our basketball team or our baseball team? Well, because he wasn't developed to that point yet.
He wasn't
because
that guy.
he was 19 years old, and now he's a grown man. So getting these players doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win the national championship, but it does mean that you're going to have a basketball legacy. And there's no question. I mean, every time you turn on an NBA game, practically, there's John Calipari's legacy in some form or fashion. That's powerful stuff.
Yep. And part of that legacy, and I'm reminded when I hear him talk with players and their families, and I think this was an adjustment for Kentucky fans over the years, and I think it's going to have to be an adjustment we have to make as Razorback fans, is his loyalty first and foremost is to that kid and their family. And I think as fans, you think it should be to your program first. And I think he is sincere, and I think when he talks to them in the manner he does about the business of basketball and how their child or them themselves need to move forward, he is consistently at Kentucky, and I believe he'll do the same here, put whatever their need is first. So if it means leaving Arkansas, if it means going to, pro a year earlier than we'd like a player to that's right there at 50-50, it may not be what's best for Cal in the current day, but he consistently seems to be doing what's best for them. And he always talks about making a difference for those families with the money they can earn in basketball. I think as fans, that sometimes we don't understand because we selfishly want that player back another year. We selfishly want the benefit of that. And he always is able to put that aside, which would help him personally, to give the advice that helps that player personally. And I admire it. I'll be honest. I'm one of those selfish fans that I want that kid back so we can go to a Final Four. But you have to admire that.
Chuck, I'm paraphrasing, but I do remember him telling you this at the opening press conference. It's like it's about it's about the players, like something to that extent. So he, like you said, he did that from the jump. This isn't, and it hasn't just been in Fayetteville, but in past stops as well.
Well, just from a personal perspective, that's always been number one on my litmus test for whether or not a guy has a chance to be a winning coach is, does he really care about the players? I've known coaches who really care about the players. I've known coaches who don't. The players always know. They always know if you have their best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot fool them. And Calipari has obviously put the players and their families first, and people recognize that, and he's been unapologetic about it. And I think that's one of the reasons that he's able to get these players. Look, there are lots of great coaches out there. He didn't reinvent the game, and he's not going to be the only coach in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But they know that he's sincere in what he's saying. I can remember when he was the coach at Kentucky. I used to say this, and I've said it on this show, and I said it on other shows, and people didn't always agree with it. I always thought Calipari in defeat was the most gracious coach out there. I always thought he was. The times when we would beat him, the times when other teams would beat him, he didn't throw his kids under the bus. He was always complimentary. He was always gracious in defeat. I think he's a decent guy, number one. But I do think he cares about the players, and I think that is sincere. That is the most important thing. Mm-hmm. In building a program. It's not always the most important thing in winning this game, but it is the most important thing in building a program.
I think. Do you agree, though, guys, with as fans, we have to get our minds wrapped around that, because as fans, you want that player to you want that player to make a decision that's best for the program, or the coach to lead that player to a decision that's best for winning now here at our university. I think as fans, we're going to have a little bit of growing pains.
Well, I think my opinion is we've had that in last.
Oh, I think you're right.
4 or 5 years in a month.
But now it's going to be at higher stakes because it's with better players, and it's going to be more frequently because you have players that are draft worthy more often.
All the way back, as far as I can remember, to Corliss and beyond, you would hear, well, if he'd stay one more year, if he'd stay one more year and get coached up, you know, he might go to this spot in the draft. But you're right. I mean,
we're just going to deal with it more argument. We're going to deal with it more frequently, I guess, is the heart of my point, because the caliber of player you're getting on the roster. So we better adjust as fans, because we're going to have to deal and cope with this selfish emotion more frequently. And I get it. Hey, I'm right there with the majority on that. I'm not saying, hey, I'm not wagging my finger at anybody, because I've got to learn to deal with this.
I think sometimes, too, though, we also have to realize the best decision is to come back to college.
Yeah.
Sometimes
especially
it is.
Now.
Not always.
Now, in the NIL world, yeah.
But take a player like John L. Davis, who transferred here from Florida Atlantic. I'm not going to get into all the stuff on it, but he made a financial decision to come back to college. And the way the system's set up now, you can do that. So the one thing that I think these players know and these families know, and look, Cal's not the only one that does it. He just does it better than everybody else right now. But these families and these players know, if they believe that this coach sincerely cares about them, when they say to them, it's better for you to come back to college for a year, they're going to believe them. They're not going to believe that they're just speaking from selfish interests. And so it is going to be a little bit of a new horizon for all of us in that regard. Hey, it's another hot week. If you're a Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric customer, I know you're happy. You've had peace of mind all summer long. The seasons do change, though, and there's going to be a change in the season not too far around the corner. And the great thing about their plant protection program is whether it's summer, fall, winter, spring, whatever, you're going to have the peace of mind of knowing your system's running properly all year round. That's what they make certain of. They prevent problems before they occur. This is not just with the air conditioner, the heating system. Electric and plumbing, part of the equation as well. You'll find their service there is better than everybody else's. It's been that way in Northwest Arkansas for over 50 years. They're expanding. I'm talking 4 or 5 states. If you can hear me, they're there right now. And you can schedule your appointment at gopascal.com.
Man, was it a big weekend for our own Ty Richardson, Chuck? Broke 90 for the first time on a golf course as a big boy. You know.
Congratulations!
Welcome to the big league.
Well,
broke 90.
It only took 29 years to get to this point, but it's time to continue to strive and pursue for it. Now, I was told by several of your friends. Here, I have to rephrase. Sources indicate to me that you are a good golf club thrower. That's what
I
I've
had a
been
moment
indicated.
or two this weekend. Yeah,
my putter almost won the lake once or twice.
There was a little frustration at moments, but I played. That's as well as I played in back-to-back days all year.
I'm just wondering now, am I good enough to play with Chuck and Clay? I think
no. Not Clay. Maybe
Not Clay.
Chuck.
Maybe Chuck.
But
Okay.
breaking. Here was the funniest thing out of this, Chuck. I called him because, I heard, word was quickly spreading around the golf complex that Ty Richardson had broke 90. This was big news because no one thought it would ever happen. It's kind of like when Calipari came. I mean, there was a lot
I told you I was going to break 90 this year, and you laughed it off.
Well, I mean, but you have dramatically improved in the last
Thank
30
you.
days.
I appreciate
and
it.
I called him because I'm proud of him. I said, Ty, I heard you shot 87. He's like, yeah, and he kind of walks me through his round. It's great. And he said, I can't wait to get out there tomorrow. Maybe I'll break 80.
Well, hold on. Tommy actually called me and asked me about a work thing. Then I told him I broke 87.
No, I saw it on the scoreboard.
Okay.
You're running a great story here, but hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
What did you shoot the next day?
102.
Golf can humble you.
Golf's like an ex-wife.
They
She's
can't
always
take
out to
that
get you.
87 away from you.
Golf's like an
Can't take
ex-wife.
that
She's always out to get you.
It's a big dose of humble pie is what golf can do.
BI, you know the rest.
Mm-hmm. Hey, brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. At Gaston's, you can get away. And I was talking to a friend of mine who had just spent a weekend with his family there about a month ago at Gaston's. They got the house that's down in the cul-de-sac, 4 bedrooms, had a wonderful time, plenty of room, kitchen, cook, the whole bit. That's the kind of getaway you can have at Gaston's with their expert guides to take you to the river. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
It's summer clearance sale time at Julco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Julco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, hay is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm gonna order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm gonna use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em. Some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup. And they come right to the river's edge when I call 'em too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gastons, a first-class time, every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir!
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So Arkansas fans travel all over the country for sporting events, including in Paris. We got a chance to catch up with Alyssa Orange late on Friday. Apparently the hog call was even out there.
And I've already run into Arkansas fans because, of course, I did in Paris.
25 Razorbacks, I think it is, former Razorbacks or current Razorbacks that are participating in these events. And, Chuck, we had a chance to catch up with her when we were on the phone with her. They were, like, directly across from the Eiffel Tower, which was kind of a cool sight. And she had a lot of her itinerary that she had done, and she still had a lot left to do outside of just normal work for Pig Trail or for Nexstar, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure that's the trip of a lifetime. Not just from a professional standpoint, but, you know, you have personal hours there, and I'm certain there's a blend of the two, and she's having a great time.
Yeah, she is. Arkansas basketball fans seem to have having a great time right now. Haven't even played a game yet under John Calipari, but got a good roster for this upcoming season and a good start for the roster in 2025 as Darius Acuff commits, and he did it on 24/7 Sports.
I'll be committed to the University of Arkansas.
So it was a cool, just little Clidio video snippet. He's got the Jayhawks hat, the Michigan Wolverines hat, and then, as recruits often do, they take off their sweatshirt or they take off their sweatsuit, and he's got him and his family decked out in gear. You know what's always funny to me is, like, his family was all in on the Hogs, right? But every once in a while you see this kid that, like, picks a school and his family behind him, particularly his mom's, like, she starts shaking her head or something because that school is, like, far away, or that's not the schools that she wanted her son to go to.
She didn't like that coach.
Yeah, and those to me are the funniest videos.
That was before there was NIL money.
Yeah.
That's
They're all
true.
shaking their head yes now.
Good point.
Yeah, good call on that. So, again, Darius, for those that don't know, number one point guard in this upcoming class of 2025, consensus top 10, and a kid that a lot of fans wanted, not just Michigan fans and Kansas fans, but others as well. Now, Tommy, you made the point when we had a conversation with Richard Davenport about 45 minutes ago. One, just a big weekend for Arkansas basketball. Good weekend for football. He had 3 commitments. The biggest one being Reginald Vaughn, kid out of Mississippi, 4-star defensive lineman. Lionel Prudhomme out of Louisiana. He's a 3-star offensive lineman. And then you got an in-state kid, the class of 2026, Tucker Young, who's a Hot Springs kid. So 3 commits, 2 for 25, and then 1 for 26 over the weekend.
4-star D lineman, Chuck, if they pan out and live up to 4-star stat, that's how you change your program. That's how you win ball games in the SEC.
Well, you got to be good up front, that's for sure. And you look at the defensive lines and the depth there, and that's one of the things good teams always seem to have. So hopefully these guys they'll end up here, and hopefully they pan out.
6'3", 260 I saw in Richard's account of his commitments. So I imagine they'll be reshaping him and putting on some what they call good weight. I'm trying to figure out what good weight is, but it's not what I do.
Landon Jackson weight. That's a good weight.
There you go.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard Taylor Green talking about how much good weight he's put on the offseason, I would be a rich man. Not just him, but a lot of other, not just Hog football players, but others. More Arkansas news. Going to get a chance to talk with head basketball and head football coach the next 2 days. Cal's with us at 11. Sam Pittman's with us tomorrow. Get a chance to recap them coming up. You mentioned this earlier. Get a chance to hear not just about recruiting. He can't touch 100% on Darius because he's just a commit, but kind of how summer practice has gone. And then with fall camp beginning for Pitt on Wednesday, guys, we'll kind of get a preview from him as that as well.
Yeah, I think that's really the purpose of John Calipari speaking with the media, is really to kind of recap what happened in these summer practices, and it'll go wherever he wants it to go. I mean, he'll guide that conversation, but I think that's the interesting thing is, Chuck, how those 10 practices or whatever it was go.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a report on that. This may be, I don't know, but this may be the last time we hear from Cal for a while, because football is going to obviously take center stage, and Pittman's going to talk right before practice begins. But from what I understand, there are going to be, coaches and players that are going to be made available pretty much every time they practice. So I don't know how much basketball we'll get after today for the next few weeks. I'm not saying it's going dormant, and it'll be front and center the first time somebody loses a football game, that's for sure. But I just wonder if this is the last time we'll hear from Coach Cal for a while.
Well,
I don't know.
I hope we get some extensive information about schedule. That's what I like, non-conference game schedule. And
you want to know when that New York game is so you could get your flight.
Well, here's the thing, though, guys. We're clamoring for this schedule because so much of it has come out. But, like, for example, for the schedule to be finalized right now, that would be highly unusual.
I didn't say finalized, but just what tidbits can you provide me, So, because here's the thing. People are going to make plans to be at more games this year than they have in the last 4 or 5 years.
Tommy just wants to know.
Huh?
Tommy just wants
I
to
do,
know.
because I want to make plans. I want to block off dates.
You sound like me now. This is funny.
I don't think I'm alone in this.
No,
People want
Coach
to
Tommy
schedule.
Kraft would like me to ask you if you could get a few more games out.
You get listen. The press
There you
conference
go.
is over the media. You got a chance at 11. Coach,
There you go.
Coach, I've got this flight to New York. I heard Dallas
I'm not
might
worried
be.
about that. I already know about those things. I just wonder about the home games, because those are the ones that affect the overwhelming majority of the people listening. And they're going to go to midweek games against opponents that are, not top shelf, because they want to see this team and they want to see that coach.
Do you think they're making their plans in, late July, early August for those games?
I don't know. I mean,
you just want to know.
I'm with
my
curiosity.
My schedule's about 9-10 months out. I mean, a lot of times.
I mean, you're uncommon there.
Well, I think there's a lot of people. I think there's more people in Northwest Arkansas like that than you think. And those are the kind of people that have tickets.
To Tommy's point, I know that Arkansas basketball sold out the last 3 or 4 years. And again, I don't want to belittle what Muss was able to do in the last 3, not last year. Last year sucked. Previous 3 years. But I will give him, I have been asked, and I feel like I keep saying this every year, But legitimately, there have been more questions about schedule, recruits, and Arkansas basketball as a whole since Cal has taken over.
Well,
and it keeps heightening.
I just think you're going to see more nights in the middle of the week with 15,000 plus this year than you have before.
Do us a favor, Greg Sankey.
Actually there.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I don't think they're making plans the 1st of August.
So
if you're going to play the Kentucky game, slap it on a Saturday, Greg. And if you're going to put the Alabama game at the end of the season, slap it on a Saturday, too. Do not put any of those games. You're not going to put the Kentucky game midweek, but the best home game of the season is when you play Alabama.
Well, we know the conference games, right?
Yes. Alabama. Your home conference game's not that great. It's just not. You don't play Kentucky at home. You don't play Auburn at home. It's just like mid.
No.
Slap the Alabama game on a Saturday. Put it on a Saturday.
Chuck says we're not making plans this far out, but, man, I got 2 kids, and they fill up my calendar pretty quick between football games, cheer competitions, choir concerts, all these things. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm rolling that boat alone.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, so speaking of plans, it is National Chicken Wing Day and Lasagna Day.
Ooh.
Between either of those, we're going chicken wings or lasagna.
My wife's lasagna is hard to beat. I'm going lasagna.
Lasagna.
Good lasagna.
Chuck, which one are you going?
Chicken wings.
I know you're a flats guy. I learned that with your conversation with Devo Davis. So it's cool.
Chicken wings for me.
So with it being Chicken Wings Day, we are going to be, Ruskin and Zach are going to be at Top Golf next Monday. And they're doing this deal where if you come play golf, you get a free order of wings. And we'll be telling you more about that in the coming days. And they will specifically as well. But with it being National Chicken Wing Day, I wanted to get that in there.
No wings, no lasagna at Hardee's, but which one of you guys be there tomorrow?
I will be there tomorrow. Big C will be there on Thursday.
All right, so Tuesday, for those in Fort Smith, can stop by the Phoenix Avenue location. On Thursday, the Rogers Avenue location. You can become our next qualifiers for the football trip of a lifetime. If you can eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less, you have a reserved seat at the final table on August 24th, where you could win a trip to see the Cowboys and the Eagles, courtesy of Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
All right, coming up, we're going to spend some more time on Cal and talk about these massive quarterbacks making money.
Craft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's site's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479 Stadium or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them web things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Valley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crown service. Call 226-3500 or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with the exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the low to mid 90s. We'll end up with a clear sky tonight, overnight low near 75. Sunshine, mid to upper 90s tomorrow. Wednesday, we're looking at clear skies, mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 31 days.
I'm looking forward to just getting the ball rolling. I've been excited since January. Everybody's talking trash. Offense and defense having their little feud, so we're going to settle it on Wednesday.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those goal locks flow.
Yes, sir.
So there's a couple things I want to get into as we start this hour. You heard Taylor Green, Fayetteville High School, talking to some media members, had a chance to not only be with Casey Dick, head coach of the Fayetteville Bulldogs, but also some of his players as well. Fall camp beginning on Wednesday, which I know people are excited to hear what comes out of that. You're also excited about the Arkansas basketball program, which just landed a 5-star this past Friday in Darius Acuff. How did Cal get him? Well, it's not just him, it's some of the other players that he's brought in. Plus, he had some big-time money being tossed around with some quarterbacks lately, whether it's Tua Tagovailoa, Jordan Love. Jerry Jones has got a decision to make when it comes to Dak Prescott and had an interesting response when asked about that question, even comparing himself to Mahomes a little bit, which was funny. So we'll chat about that as we get going here in hour 3.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's one thing that I believe separates and sets apart Wheels RV from the competition. You never have to worry when you buy at Wheels because every new RV comes with that lifetime warranty. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's. Sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. 100% financing available. No job too small or large. Everything for the outside of the house.
We also have Officer Breeding, who is phoning us in on the hotline this morning. You can do so, 877-377-6963. Good morning, Officer Breeding.
Good morning, sir. Just wanted to define good weight for you. You know, being a former strength and conditioning coach, a lot of people discuss good weight. Well, good weight technically is defined as any weight that improves the efficiency of the body to do more work through a shorter amount of time. I know we can equate that to horsepower or whatever else, but the layman's definition here is if that weight, whether it be through building thickness in the tendons, whether it be building muscle, does it increase the efficiency of the work to be done? You know, real thin guys can often run real fast, but they can't do the same amount of work as the guy with the appropriate amount of muscle and tendon strength. So you got to put balance in there. You got to put the ability to move the weight, and you have to have speed. That's where the term muscle bound came from. You get too much muscle, the muscle's not efficient anymore.
That's, you know, Chuck's often been described as muscle bound. I mean,
well, you can bulk up too much.
Yeah.
Look at Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods bulked up too much, ruined his game. Back when he was skinny and flexible, everything was fine. Ty needs to work on his radio body, though.
Yeah, there's a lot I need to work on. What is the as a guy that's done this for many years, Chuck? What is the perfect ideal radio plane weight, if you will?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's different for everyone, but softness is key.
Well, Officer Breeden, thanks for the explanation. Because I think there's a bunch of guys around here with thick tendons, but they're up between their ears. You know.
He is right, though. Everything you said was exactly correct.
Yeah.
As it pertains to sports.
That is one of the favorite things to talk about during the offseason when it comes to plane weight and whatnot.
One of our favorite guys there, too, in Officer Breeden.
Yeah, he's the man.
Good dude.
Real quick, I did find it funny. So, Chuck, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to Taylor Green at all, but there's a good piece in Whole Hog Sports, his interactions with not just Casey Dick, but you remember, Boise State quarterback went roughshod over UNLV, the Running Rebels, Garrett Odom, quarterback, Fayetteville High School. He didn't realize that was Barry's son, and apparently that was kind of funny when they interacted.
He was telling me about the game and watching me play and stuff, and I didn't know it at first because I was giving him a little talk about, man, you can't wear that UNLV. You got to wear, Arkansas Razorback. Like, come on, man. So he was telling me he was watching the game, so that was pretty fun. Cool experience.
So it was kind of news to him. He was like, why is this kid wearing UNLV stuff? And then he figured out, oh, that's Coach Odom's son, who is the quarterback of Fayetteville High School, which I thought was kind of a funny thing to take out of that conversation.
Probably a few in our audience that don't have that connection.
Yeah,
yet.
it is.
Haven't made it yet.
It's odd it's kind of weird that set up, but I guess Garrett wanted to stay in Northwest Arkansas. We talk about coaches wanting to stay here after the fact. It sounds like he was here for a couple years and wanted to stay here rather than living the outside of Vegas or whatever. All right, so I want to go back to this Cal again. For those that missed it in hour number 2, there was a documentary that was made on Emmanuel Quickley, who played for Cal, Kentucky. He is now a Toronto Raptor. If if you want to reference, when Cal got tossed in that game years ago, Emmanuel was the kid that put both fingers between his ears because it got so loud when Cal got tossed. Cal laid out a couple of things. Hey, why come play for me? And he's going to use these same type of principles, these same type of examples for Fayetteville. One of them used is competition. You were talking about competition with Wheels RV, Tommy. The competition level at Arkansas is going to be awesome. Like practice, hopefully we get a chance to take into practice and tell you more about, but that's really what he honed in on for Emmanuel and other guys that have come to play for him.
You pick a school and they tell you you're the face of the team, you're going to be the centerpiece, you're the guy, we're letting you do all this, and then you start practicing and you're by far the best player. So now you play 30 games. 20 of those games are against bad teams, just how it is. The other 10 are against good teams, and of those 10, they got 8 players that can compete with you at the level you play. So that means 8 times a year, you're really in a competitive environment for you personally. Unless you come with me, now you're going to be there 200 days because every practice I'm going to have other guys going to be 6, 7 guys just like you. And every day you're going to have to come and bring it. Now that's how our guys get better. When you say, how did your team get better? Yeah, we coach them up. We do individual work. We challenge them. We get them to fight. But together, they just make each other better.
So think about who he brought in this 24 class. Transfers, Trevin Brazil, and then also guys he brought out of high school. You've got number 1 point guard basically in Boogie Flan. You think about Billy Richmond, and then you also brought in another freshman who's Carter Knox. Like all those 4 or 5-star guys. Then you've got John L. Davis, who's considered like an All-American equivalent point guard and shooting guard, combo guard, I should say. And then you have like a Jonas Adu, who is going to be in the running, I would think, for Defensive Player of the Year. You've got a couple Kentucky guys like Big Z and Thiero. Like these practices, like I was talking about, a lot of position groups may be solidified for football heading into fall camp. I don't know how many positions right now are solidified in basketball as we're a couple months out from, I guess, first game at the end of October.
Well, we know the positions. We don't know the playing time yet.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you're reading those names, and it's like, oh, I forgot Adu was here. And there's such an impressive list of basketball players, and it's going to be fun to watch them play.
Think about like a guy like DJ Wagner, who coming out of high school was a consensus 5-star kid. Some had him as the best player in the country, and he didn't necessarily have the best season in Lexington last year, but then you look at his numbers, like they were just solid. Some were expecting him to be the best player on that team. It wasn't. And he supposedly, from reading different things and sources you hear about, saying he's taking on like the leadership role. One of the things I wonder is with so many new faces and players, and we pointed this out, that you've got 3 Kentucky transfers, so they know what it's like to play for it. Who takes over as the leadership? The alpha dog in the locker room of that. I mean, John L's probably your best player, but who ends up being the leader of this team is going to be fascinating for me to watch. Not just the first game, but as they get into conference play and hopefully postseason too.
Yeah, I don't know if there will be a singular leader. There may be leaders. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see how all that plays out. Clearly, the guys that came from Kentucky understand the way that he does things, and they've been working. I mean, obviously, some of the sound bites you played a little bit earlier. I mean, they're able to do things in the summer now, and they're already well on their way. We've not seen them play a game yet, but they are well on their way. So I'm sure a lot of that's already emerging.
So we had a chance to chat with Daryl Hawkins this past Friday, and I thought Daryl was fantastic. Can't wait for the Hawk and his teammates to come back for the reunion that's supposedly taking place with the 1990 Final Four team. And he pointed something out to us, and I hadn't thought about this before, but he's 100% accurate. The former Kentucky Wildcat players are not going to come back to Rupp Arena and practice. They're not going to come back to Barnhart's practice facility. They're going to come to Fayetteville, and he was pretty emphatic about that.
His players don't go back to Kentucky to play in the summer. And we're talking about $1 million players. They go back for Cal. They go back for Cal to help Cal with the players he's bringing in. So that tells you the kind of relationship he's developed with his players. And I'm expecting those Kentucky players, they'll be coming to Arkansas in the summer pretty soon. They won't be going to Kentucky. They'll be coming back to Arkansas.
I think already seen a player or two Wildcat that's already been on campus and practice or gotten ready. But I hadn't initially thought about that numerous times. I figured there'd be a player or two, but guys, I think it's going to be pretty prevalent if I had to guess. And I would guess that the Arkansas Razorbacks are going to promote that. Even it's kind of weird promoting another team, but it's Cal's guys, and that's something I would think is going to be pushed as much as possible.
Well, I'm sure they'll be back. I'm sure a lot of them will be back. They owe a lot to him, and he owes a lot to them. And so I'm sure they certainly sounds like he's maintained a relationship with them. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about caring about the players. Part of that is recruiting a kid for life.
Mm-hmm.
Are you recruiting them for life, or are you recruiting them for the 2 or 3 years that they're with you, or the 1 year that they're with you? It's clear that he recruits his players for life. Barry Switzer was this way when he was over at Oklahoma. And lots of coaches are this way. I'm not saying they're the only ones, but it's very clear that the players that he's recruited over the years, he's recruited them for life, and they've signed on with him for life too.
Yeah. And, Arkansas used to have these kind of events to fill a building on a Saturday. Now you don't have that issue. So now all it does is amplify the building when you have a reunion. You bring back some of your greats, and Todd Day and Lee Mayberry and Oliver Miller and the rest of their teammates get their moment, and Nolan's there with them again. I remember that. I think it was the Georgia game when Jeff Long finally brought back the championship team, and they honored them. What was it? Was it 2014? I believe that occurred, and that filled the building that day. On a Saturday,
Georgia basketball.
Yeah. But my point is, it doesn't matter who you're playing. That building's going to be full on a Saturday in a conference game. All this can do is amplify the atmosphere, the intensity, and the opponent's difficulty to win on Arkansas's floor in Bud Walton Arena.
It's nice to have reunion games. Fans love it when teams get back together. We love nostalgia. I also think, too, though, just to be real honest, that over the course of John Calipari's tenure here, we're going to have a team that 20 years from now has a reunion. You certainly want to celebrate your past. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. I had a former coach tell me that one time, and I've thought about that a lot. And it is good to be able to celebrate all that. But you also want current things to celebrate. You want to make some memories now. And I think that perhaps that's what's going on.
I know that Daryl and both Oliver Miller were pushing the idea of getting Todd Day's number retired. I wonder if they're ever going to do that. Are they going to just stay? Because Corliss and help me out, who the other men's basketball guy is, Sydney, right? Those are the only two that are retired. I wonder if that's
got Eddie and Nolan's names hanging in the rafters as well.
Yeah, and
I think now they've opened up more numbers in basketball. Used to you every number had to end in 5 or less. Now they've changed that, but I don't know.
I don't think you ought to retire any more numbers, but I do think there need to be a lot more jerseys hanging up in the rafters.
Yeah,
that's probably a good way to look at it.
I think our history probably needs to be celebrated a little bit more in that regard. Here's what happens in college programs now, and it's not just ours; it's every program and every sport. The administrators change, and when we talk about how when a coach is hired, an entire new staff comes in with him. It's that way when administrators change too. And I don't mean this in a critical way at all, but things get lost in the shuffle, and one of them is history lots of times because you're out with the old and in with the new, and the new doesn't know anything about what went on before. So it is good to celebrate your history, and I do think we should do more of that in terms of our basketball program. We have a very rich history to celebrate. I hope if there's a renovation down the road, I don't know exactly where that stands right now, but I think we should celebrate that history more than we do.
I think it was – now, let's be clear about something. The North Carolina Tar Heels have more great players over the history of their basketball program than Arkansas does. But walking into the Dean Dome for the first time 2 years ago, not during a game, not during an event, but just seeing the setup of all those jerseys up there, Jordan, Wallace, Stackhouse, the list goes on and on. That was one of the coolest basketball like venue and feel that I've ever walked into. And it wasn't even, like I said, during the game. I think Arkansas, like, you've got the arena, you've got the fan base. It would just be cool, like you're saying, Chuck, to maybe push the history and heritage a little more. And whether it's waiting on the renovation or just maybe doing this within a couple years, you'd like to. I think a lot. I don't think there would be an Arkansas fan that would push back on that at all. To be frank,
it's just a matter of investing in it and finding the right people to do it, and then sometimes easier said than done. There's no doubt about that. And schools that have history try to make certain that it is celebrated. And I don't think you ought to get into retiring any more numbers. I think 34 and 32 are fine, but there are also a lot of players who've probably earned the right to have their jersey up there. You said something a minute ago that I think goes unnoticed sometimes. And over the years of my job, I've been in a lot of stadiums and arenas when they're empty. Sometimes you can be a little bit intimidated even when it's empty.
Ooh, good point.
And banners, and I can remember when LSU used to have that big billboard above the right field wall in baseball listing all the national championships they'd won. And you walk into teams' football stadiums and you see the statues and you see all the historically significant events with some kind of monument to them. And that stuff can be intimidating, even when the stadium's empty. And you can kind of imagine what it's like when it's full. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but I can tell you there are stadiums out there. You walk across the field at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge when it's empty. I don't care if it's full or empty. It's a little bit intimidating down there.
Chuck, to your point, real quick as we wrap this up, I was talking to, I forget what Cali school you played in baseball this past season, but I saw a couple of those guys at the Tulsa airport. And one of the guys specifically told me, it's like, man, when we walked in, we saw those SEC championships and College World Series out on the wall. It was kind of intimidating. So there's that's a player in 2024 that tells us that. So that was baseball, but definitely there's a lot of truth to that. I agree 100%.
Hey, before we run out of time, guys, I want to talk to you about Sawyer Sunrooms. I was just on their website a minute ago. Sunrooms, screen rooms, patio covers. It's that time of year. But, one of the things they do that I think is really great are the concrete patios and the driveways, the decorative concrete. A lot of people are really into that right now. They can dress it up. They can make it look good. And so, when we talk about Sawyer Sunrooms, we're not just talking about sunrooms. Frankly, if it involves the outside of your home, they can do it. This is a company that's been around for a while, since the early 90s. Buzz Sawyer, been in the Fort Smith area for years and years and years. If you follow the Northside Grizzlies, you know that name. They're licensed, insured, and I think you'll find their work to be really quality and something that you're proud to have on your home. And you can log on, see their work. Check it out at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Let's go live to Paris, where Bob in Hot Springs is. Bob, we got about a minute, man. I saw you, your wife, and your daughter calling the hogs. So let's put that video out. How has Paris been treating y'all?
Hey, it's awesome. We're rocking it everywhere. Rick D's here. It's meant to be. Okay? I tickets to women's rugby tonight. If anybody contacts you and get back to me. Okay? Free for a hog call, okay? 2 tickets, women tonight.
Something women's.
Women's what? Say the event again.
Women's rugby.
Women's rugby.
Women's rugby.
All right.
Well,
women's rugby.
Bob, enjoy your trip, okay? All right. Again,
I guess if I was in Paris, I'd be calling too. So
it's a long way to Paris.
Yeah.
When we did them at 7 hours. I think that's right.
I think the time difference. I think I looked it up at 7 hours.
3:20 over there.
8:45 last Friday morning when we were talking to Alyssa, and it was 3:45
there. So hopefully Bob and all the Razorback fans that made the trek over there, sounds like Brooke B's there too, have a fun and safe trip. That's never World Cup is more on the bucket list for me than the Olympics, to be honest.
Being able to make sense of it all. It would seem like if you're a fan and you're at the Olympic Games, you'd need a map. Yeah, you know, finding a way to make sense of it all might be the hardest part.
They probably have an app for that, you know, to help
I'm
get
sure
you
they
around.
do. I'm sure they do.
Hey, let me tell you about the Fence Man, the company we trust when it comes to quality fencing and gates and ornamental iron and custom projects. Really anything you think that can, dress up the look of your home or business from the perimeter, from the exterior, they can do for you. A lot of places need trash enclosures around their dumpsters, or maybe your neighborhood requires those, or maybe you have a new service yard where you lay down equipment or inventory. You need to protect that with a 10-foot chain link commercial grade fence. They can do that. So no project's too big or small. Call the Fence Man, 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, when we return, we'll touch on some more of the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. A lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback. The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need. From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room. To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them face web gram things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar.
Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Anyone that works with me knows if you want to drive me crazy, if you want to start a fight, and if you want to hear a string of obscenities, hide my Scotch tape, hide my highlighters. We're gonna have a problem on game day. Believe me, I've got little hiding places.
Bill was listening to our conversation as we closed out there, talking about the intimidation factor of certain venues within college sports, not just college sports but professional. He says that the big billboard above the right field seats at Alex Box Stadium is called the Intimidator for a reason.
The wall of intimidation. The Intimidator. It was intimidating. Certain stadiums are like that. You can walk in there when it's empty, and you realize why they're good.
Bryant Denny naming the visiting locker room the fail room after a donor. That's
great.
That's a unique touch.
Yes,
to say the least.
So, Chuck, I asked Tommy this. Is it Bryant Saban Stadium or Saban Bryant Stadium? That's apparently a question right now.
Saban Field at Bryant Denny Stadium.
That's what I said.
They said that, and then Feinbaum went on this rant. It's like, that's not good enough for Nick Saban. So I know that they were kind of debating what they should do with that.
You know who probably cares the least about this?
Who?
Nick Saban.
Yeah, no, you're right on that.
So maybe his family probably cares. I bet he doesn't give two rats you-know-whats about it. So, hey, it's golf season. We were talking about Ty breaking 90 for the first time this weekend. Our friends at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports can make every one of your trips to the golf course even more memorable with a customized easy-go golf cart for you and your family, or maybe you need one for the neighborhood to get to the pool and the tennis courts, or to your buddies' houses to watch the games. Golf carts have so many uses in our societies and our subdivisions these days. They fully customized one that fits my needs for the golf course. And it's great because I have all my stuff there. I don't have to put the bag on and off, and you get comfortable with the convenience of having everything there. Custom wheels and tires, custom lighting, sound, customized seats. They can make it look just the way you want it to look with a variety of colors and options that fit you. So whether you want gas or electric, they offer both options. I went with lithium batteries, which have an 8-year warranty, so you can ask all the questions at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. Fayetteville and in Little Rock, if you're in Northwest Arkansas, go where I went, get off at the Garland exit off 49, go the opposite way of Sam's, and take your first right at the light, on McConnell, North McConnell, right behind the rental store. Or find them online at arpowersports.com.
So if I break 80, do you think they'll loan me a cart?
We'll see when that year comes.
When that year comes.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something.
They'll sell you one like they did me.
Yeah. Tommy, you were talking about scheduling for basketball earlier. As we start fall camp this week, we're 31 days out from the first Razorback football game. Daryl Hawkins, we closed out our conversation on Friday, had something important to say for every one of you. I implore you to listen to his final words on this.
One more thing, I heard y'all's conversation about football season. Those of you who have wives and significant others, you better get that football contract signed before you get involved.
So I'm in the midst of trying to figure out rental contracts, trying to rent out this other section of my house, and my parents and other friends that have gone through this process for something I haven't. You're talking about scheduling. Have you got this football contract ironed out? Is it just, this is work related, honey, so I have to watch this season? Or do you have a certain allotment of hours that you get?
I've been married 20 years. My wife, she fully expects to get nothing out of me this fall.
Is that just typically how it goes each and every year? Or
she knows.
Does it vary each time?
Never varies.
Okay. All right. Good to know on that.
20 years in, I mean, she knows I'm a lost cause.
During every fall. But some will have to battle this. Some get a game, some get a Saturday. They don't often get Saturdays and Sunday, but I did think that was funny because evidently Daryl has to figure that out with his wife each fall, Chuck.
He's got a bargain.
Yeah, he's got a bargain. Come to the barter and bargain, come to the table.
I get Saturday, you get Sunday.
Yeah, and for you, Chuck, you're working on Saturday, so I don't know how much college football you really get to watch. Sundays is probably when the only day you get to be a fan.
Well, and Sundays, to be very honest with you, sometimes I'm a little footballed out by Sunday. If there's an interesting NFL game on, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
but it's got a good game.
By the time I go to a high school game on Friday night, watch college football start to stop on Saturday, and probably go to a Razorback game. Sunday, it needs to be compelling to get me to the TV.
See, here's the thing. For us as fans, Sunday's a decompressed day, but I think those who work within a football program would tell you that's the busiest day of the week. It really is. That's the busiest day of the week. For all the people that work around it, you go to that football building, that Royal Center on Sunday in football season, it's bustling with activity. But for us, we get to kind of decompress, so we're lucky in that respect.
Think about Clay in the magazine for a number of years. Clay was doing all his work on Sunday.
Why do you think he retired?
Yeah, so he's getting to get a chance to watch. Here's the thing. You guys are doing this.
I watch the Cowboys.
You guys need to do this thing that I do every Sunday is get tucked in your nice lazy boy. Maybe have Laura make you something and watch football from 12 to 10 o'clock that night. That's how you do it. You do Red Zone from 12 to 7, and then you watch we're talking about the compelling NFL game, which is Sunday Night Football. That's what you need to do. Do that one day a week, and I promise you'll want to do it the rest of the way. But then you'll actually get yelled at because then the second
I was going to say, come back in about 15 years,
Okay.
and we'll see where you are on watching 10 hours of football on Sunday part.
Spoken like a true single man.
Yeah, we're getting text here on the hotline saying I just get Saturday for football and then Sundays are for my wife. So
It's a fair bargain.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a fair bargain.
During fall, that is fair at this point. All right, we got our SEC update coming up in just a bit. I have an interesting headline that I want to get into when it comes to SEC football news.
All right, it's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. See our buddies Chris and Lee J. Let them fix you up with a brand new Grand Design, Forest River, or Brinkley. Get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
There's a certain high school commit that has slipped, I guess it is 4 times from different rival schools. Anytime I see a recruiting story, I'm just not surprised anymore. But even this one took me off guard a little bit. We got that, and we'll wrap up the show again. It is a Hot Take Monday. If you want to get in here one final time, do so. 877-377-6963.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them face web gram thing.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Vegas, baby! Vegas, baby!
This is the Morning Rush.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Valley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crown service. Call 226-3500 or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
All right, so this guy, Antonio Coleman, who is a wide receiver commit in the Alabama state, or the state of Alabama, he is he's flipped 4 times. I think he started at Auburn, or started at Alabama, flipped to Auburn, flipped back to Alabama, and now has flipped back to Auburn. He credits Hugh Freeze for staying diligent and continuing to pursue him when it comes to that. I know kids often...
Sounds like they finally won the bid.
Yeah, commit and decommit. But, I mean, it's just a commit. What if he signs with Bama? That'd be 5 switches for a recruiting site. And it's an in-state kid, and it's your rival. So this is going to be one of the most talked about kids in the state of Alabama. I would guess on Sports Talk Radio airwaves, 4 times flipping, and I would guess that there might be a 5th or 6th coming.
Yeah, I don't know.
Signs.
I guess this is just part of today's NIL world, but, you know, if it's kind of like have a coworker that leaves, goes, comes back, or someone that says they're going to take a job, doesn't. I mean, ultimately, do you think this is someone that you want to get in a foxhole with at the end of the day? I mean, is this someone you trust to have your back? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but, I mean, I would think it'd make the foundation for trust to be built on those relationships very difficult.
What you're saying is like you want to be in a foxhole with a guy that's coming up on 6 years and 2 days. Like that's the equivalent that.
Well, you know, but I want someone that can consistently break 90. So
that's good. We're a while off for that.
You know,
we're a while off from that. Let me tell you, that was
we're gonna get in a little money game. I need someone that can do more than bring pops to it.
That was the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
But my handicap went down 2 strokes, which is kind of cool. So that's one bit of SEC.
You won't think it's cool.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I guess when you battle, and it's going to be annoying on that. Yeah. Another note that I thought was interesting was we had Tom Lemming on last week, and he kind of said it earlier, and I didn't think about it, but how about Missouri having the success they have in the transfer portal and high school recruiting class? He mentioned them, and I think about the schedule they have ahead. Not only easy, they go to Tuscaloosa, which I was talking with my stepmom about this weekend being a trap game. But have you been surprised at the success that Missouri has had in the NIL and that? Because I have.
Yep. Well, I mean, not the NIL. I mean, when you win, money follows. That's the lesson that'll be learned. Ole Miss, Missouri. Look at the. I mean, the big boys don't struggle because they win a lot. That's why they're the big boys. But if you want to have $50-60 million to work with in your fund, well, you got to go win. What was it? Brett Norsworthy said they had $63 million, I believe, in the Ole Miss NIL collective. You know, win. That's how you do it.
That is a lot of money that they had.
I wonder where Eli Drinkwitz will be next, because if he has another 10-win season, I think that's the moment you get out. You take the best offer that's out there at that point.
Curious to see what would come open. I'm curious. I want to see what happens with Ryan Day at Ohio State. I want to see if they lose to Michigan again for the 4th straight time. I want to see what happens at Lincoln Riley at USC. Those are kind of the big names right now that some are speculating that might not be there the following year.
All right, you want some reckless speculation with no sourcing, no backing, nothing? Florida. That'd be his next place.
I think you can have a lot of success at Florida. I wouldn't be surprised if Lane Kiffin took that job. I know that things are great right now, and there's just...
That's not the job he wants.
Just the Bama job? You can go from Florida to Bama. You can't go from Auburn to Bama.
True.
So that's why I don't think he took the Auburn job, because I, like you, think he is going for the Alabama job. I think
I'm not sure Auburn's even better. I'm not sure how much better Florida is than Ole Miss right now as far as a job. I know the recruiting and all that, but man, you think about the competition. I don't know. Would not surprise me though if that job comes open and Eli Drinkwitz's name to be circulated around that job.
Yeah, have to deal with Kirby Smart in Florida. Not that he does it in Missouri, but definitely more.
That would be
often.
a step up from Missouri.
Oh, no question. I think that'd
be a logical step up, not a lateral move at all.
And that hasn't made a lot of headlines when it comes to, or it made a lot of connections. But when you just said it, it makes sense to me.
Mark that tape. We may need it later.
Yeah, on 8:45 here on Monday,
Save that
July
somewhere,
the,
Big C.
the 29th.
If I'm right, bring it out. If I'm wrong, erase it.
Last thing, Ra Thomas, solid wide receiver for the Georgia Bulldogs, was arrested. 2 counts of battery, also a second-degree cruelty to children. It's a little different than the traffic incidents and the speeding incidents they've had with what's going on in Athens. And we mentioned the fatality earlier. Maybe I'm making too big of a deal. I think there are more parallels to Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs than Urban Meyer's Florida Gators than some are willing to admit.
Florida Gators had maybe money under the table, but this is money over the table. And this is, Georgia gets focused on because they're Georgia and they're in the spotlight. You think Georgia's the only place that's had kids with traffic violations and speeding tickets? And I know what you're talking about here with, with this battery incident, that goes to a different level and that's in a different bucket. But the majority of the issues have involved traffic violations. The other was, the death of the player that followed the celebration of a championship. Every coach hopes to wake up the next morning or two after their parades and their celebration and not have that call.
Yeah,
that could happen anywhere.
That's true.
To put that at the feet of Kirby Smart, and there's some systematic breakdowns on that. But you know what? Hopefully other schools learn from it. But I don't know that I'm ready to lump Georgia into the same pile as Urban Meyer's Tennessee program at that time.
That is your SEC update here this morning.
I got to go over to River City Coatings. I've got a piece of aluminum on my golf cart I was talking about that you can't stick a magnet to it because it's aluminum, right? So my rangefinder and other stuff, I'm going to get a piece of metal that will go over that, and we're going to bolt it in, but I need it powder-coated first so I never have to worry about painting it. That way magnetic items can stick to it. That's a very simple, small need or request that River City Coatings can take care of. But you think about patio furniture, you think about farm equipment, you think about metal items that are going to be, maybe at the top of your house or somewhere where they're hard to get to. You want to powder coat. It's different than paint. Powder coating isn't just a layer of paint. It becomes part of the metal and can withstand chemicals, abrasions, and more. So when you need metals that last and you don't have to service and paint and scrape and all those things, get powder coating with River City Coatings. They have a variety of colors. They've done this for more than 25 years. No drips, no oversprays, and over time, the process can save your investment, save you time, which means it saves you money as well. Again, I've got a very small project I need done. You may have something larger than that. And if you think it's too expensive, well, that might not be the case. Give them a call and let them tell you exactly what they can do for you when it comes to powder coating at River City Coatings. 471-7675. 471-7675 or go to rivercitycoatings.com.
So last thing as we close out here on a Hot Take Monday, we've played a clip or two from John Calipari's conversation with former Kentucky basketball player Emmanuel Quickly. And one of the things apparently Cal's assistants get irritated from time to time by is the misnomers about him and his basketball program. He's just like, forget it. Don't worry about that. When the truth comes out, kids will end up with us.
If it's facts, they lose. If it's the truth, they lose. They know with what's happened for our kids and how I coach and what's happened for their kids and how they coach, they can't beat us. And that's why I tell them, you guys are getting all nutty and crazy. Well, I don't care what they say. Because at the end of the day, this should be a business decision for you. And you guys as a family should be like, okay, what kind of coach do we want him to play for? What do we want that coach to stand for?
Does it kind of make sense why Archie Goodwin or Malik Monk ended up in Lexington. I mean, you're starting to come into that a month or two into this process, right? I am, at least. I got a chance to catch up with Marcus Monk a little bit this last week, hoping he's going to get a chance to hop on. I know him and his mom were recently in the Cal foxhole, if you will, talking with Cal. And I remember how volatile it got when Malik went to play his college basketball in Lexington rather than Fayetteville. You kind of get it now, though, right? You start hearing, because you're seeing it firsthand. You're seeing and you're hearing things now in Fayetteville or across Arkansas, and you're like, okay, this makes sense. Not just for those two that I mentioned, but other guys across the country that Cal had to beat out for because of how covered they are.
And when it's your guy, you find the truth you want. Back then, I remember Derek Ruskin sitting in that very spot you're sitting in, pounding his fist on that Cal was cheating his butt off and nobody was doing anything about it. Well, times have changed. NIL, I don't know what was going on back then, but everybody was PO'd because he's getting the best players. Was there other things? I don't know. I don't have any proof of that, but I know this. Consistently, he's talked about, I don't really care. I mean, that's too far. His first concern isn't what's best for the program. His first concern is what's best for the kid and their family. And I just don't think very many coaches are as open about it as he is, demonstrates it as often as he does. That's one of the reasons he's gotten a chance to demonstrate that more, by the way he shows up to the draft. And I think one of the most telling things about him as a relationship builder and as a coach is, you were mentioning this earlier, all the players that come here now to work out instead of going to Lexington to work out. They want to be around Cal and his program, not, who'd they commit to, Cal or Kentucky? Well, it's both. I get it back then, and now it's Arkansas and Cal. So we need to understand if this day comes to a close quicker than we want, wherever Cal lands next is where they're going to be going to work out then. They're Cal first, Razorback second. And we have to understand that when, because that's the way it's been in Kentucky. You can't champion it there and say, but it'll be different here.
Yeah, And
hey, enjoy it. Because it could lead to some really great things.
I can already tell you what's going to happen. The first loss that you didn't expect, or the first losing streak, I should say, fans on this program, I don't blame you for thinking this way, are saying, well, they're paid assassins. They don't really care about being a Razorback. That is coming. It's absolutely coming.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But, they're not going to win every game. If you got an idea they're going 36-0, then that problem's on you, What you want to do is have a chance to be in the third weekend. Have a team that's worthy of that. Doesn't mean you will. Arkansas's had plenty of baseball teams worthy of doing better than they have. It's just sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way.
It's what Daryl Hawkins talked about. It's like they had some bounces go their way in 1990. Those bounces didn't necessarily follow in 91.
You had a shot by
92.
Thurman in 94. It went your way.
Mm-hmm. It's not always the case.
95 didn't go your way.
Yeah. No stupid old Brandon brothers. All right, we appreciate everyone joining us here today on a Hot Take Monday. If you missed our conversation with Richard, who gave an update on Darius Acuff, who just committed to you, #1 point guard in the class of 2025, find it in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Also, a few football commits over the weekend as well, which Sam Pittman had their Hog Wild weekend or whatever it was, and they seem to have some success coming out of that.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale.
Talk to you tomorrow.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group.